Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm so happy because of your support, I have finally hit 500 plus subscribers on this channel. Thank you so much. This is a small milestone, but I'm happy to all of you for supporting me. I hope more will watch in the future and support me too. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, hit like button and comment too. Today in this video, I want to talk about a promise giver.
Hope we know and heard about Mount Nebo. It's an elevated ridge located in Jordan, and it's also mentioned in the Bible. This is the place where Moses saw with his own eyes the promised land. As we all know, he was not allowed by God to cross it, and he died on this mountain. Deuteronomy chapter 34 verse 4. And to this day, no one knows where Moses was exactly buried. Deuteronomy 34 verse 6, we can see that. So the mountain became a memorial site for him. I believe that despite not crossing over to Canaan, Moses knew what was more important. He knew that the promise giver was more important than the promised land. The authenticity of God's promises for our life is when we are led to promise giver himself. God's promises are meant to draw us closer to him. Sometimes we are disappointed with God because we think that he didn't listen to us. This is an evidence that we have misunderstood what God's promises are for. Let us remember this when we think of God's promises for our life. Firstly, God's promises give us hope. We all else fails, but God does not. God says, I will never forsake you. When we feel that God is distant, it is because we have allowed sin to separate us from Him. But if we accept Christ as our Savior and friend, our hope is restored and our strength is renewed. Secondly, a promise is a two-way street. Attached to God's promises is our promise to Him as well. If we are unfaithful, then we delay the fulfillment of God's promises or forfeit it. The journey from Egypt to Canaan should have not taken 40 years if Israel was faithful to God. Thirdly, our goal is to meet the promise giver. Our life on earth is temporary, but our life in heaven is eternal. Let us focus on the giver, not the gift or the promise. Many times the Israelites complained and said they were better off as slaves in Egypt. They lost sight of God and worshipped idols because they were too focused on getting to the promised land. Let us not go into tantrums when we do not immediately get what we want. God is teaching us to value Him more than anything, so we are ready to receive the blessings of His promises. When God reveals to us His promises, our faithfulness is required. God never promises what He cannot fulfill. The timeline in fulfilling these promises is in His hands. It may be within our lifetime, some even beyond our own. Let us rejoice, for we believe in God, who is true to His word.
And may we as well stay true to our promises to Him.
At last, I want to read this passage for all of us. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8 to 9 says, But do not forget one thing, my dear friends. There is no difference in the Lord's sight between one day and 1,000 years. To Him, the two are the same. The Lord is not slow to do what He has promised. As something, instead He is patient with you because He does not want anyone to be destroyed, but wants all to turn away from their sins.
Thank you everyone for listening to this message. I hope God will bless each and